Yes, hello.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Whoa, happy dance.
Yeah. Oh my
Bloody
God.
hell.
Of course, something had to go wrong. Oh my God.
Exactly. I'm kind of like, one day I'm going to have like this whole team of IT gurus around me. So this should
Yes.
happen.
That's what I was just saying. I need a tech guy.
Yeah, exactly. Or a team of them in my case, because I'm so bad at it.
Yeah. But we did it. We did it. We figured it out. That shows you that even if you have a lot of fear that things aren't going to work out, they will in the end.
Exactly. So do things that you don't 100% know how to do.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe if we start out by just saying who we are, because some people might be from your audience, some might be from mine.
Perfect.
So you can go ahead.
Awesome. Well, thank you for those people that have joined live and for those people who are listening on the recording. And I'm sorry that we had a bit of technical difficulties. We'll try and edit it out in the recording. My name's Kelly Brook, and I have two different businesses. Audacify, which is all about helping women, passionate women, overcome their fear, procrastination, limiting beliefs in order to get out of their comfort zone and achieve their audacious goals. Because I believe that achieving your audacious goals is what really accelerates your success, but also increases your self-confidence and expands your possibilities. And that is a mixture of mindset, productivity, and planning work. And then I also have another business called Mum's Dreams Ignite, which is about mindfulness and productivity training for busy mums. So basically, once they get on top of that, they can then pursue their big dreams as well as being present, fun mums.
Awesome. And I'm Anna Johnson-Hill, and I am the success, mindset, and wellness coach behind AnnaJohnsonHill.com. And I help purposeful humans, purposeful in that they want to make some massive difference in the world, to benefit the social good, to benefit others. And I help them achieve those goals, smash through their limiting beliefs, and become their best ever. So I do that through my online programs and meditations and coaching and speaking and writing and blogging. And yeah, just it's a great community to be a part of.
Awesome.
Yeah, so should we begin with some of our viewer questions, or did you have something you wanted to?
Maybe we could both talk about, just to start with, about our experience of fear. Because I really hate it when you get these coaches that get to a certain level and they're like, speak as if fear no longer exists in their life. And it really drives me insane, this kind of perfect, I'm making 100K, look at me thing. So I want to start being really realistic about the fear that we have faced and continue to face, and how that is for us. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You can start. Yeah.
Cool.
Take it away.
So for me, probably the biggest fear has always been about the fear of what others will think of me, because I grew up on a boat, very unusual childhood, and then I was bullied quite a lot when I was a kid. And so I spent until my mid-20s always wanting to fit in. And so I would do everything I could in order to fit in with a group. And as a result, I didn't want to shine. And then it really took doing a lot of the mindset work that we're going to be talking about starting in my mid-20s, and that's now a decade ago, to be able to get to a place where I feel comfortable, shining. But it's also, I think, your most deep-rooted fears, I don't believe they ever completely go away, because they're so deep-rooted in you. You just become much better at catching yourself falling into them, and much better at stepping past them. And so for me, for example, when I started my first business, I think entrepreneurialism is the best self-development tool ever, because it's brought back those fears all again, marketing, again, that fear of being visible and what will people think of me. So I found the entrepreneurial journey a constant one of facing that fear particularly. And I find in my clients, it's also a really common fear. And really what's behind it is your own judgments of yourself, obviously. So that's for me being the biggest.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's really similar for me, and I am that decade earlier because I'm 24. And, you know, just I've always worried about what other people think, and kind of going out on this limb and doing my own thing with my entrepreneurial journey is obviously quite different to what a lot of my friends are doing and my family. And so I just kind of feel like I used to feel like the odd one out, you know, the one that's doing something a bit different. And I felt like I was judged for that, and people would always be asking questions, and I would take those questions like I'd be offended by those questions and think that they were questioning my path, that I was doing the wrong thing. But now I kind of realize that they're only asking those questions because they are interested, because it is something a little bit different. So it's about your mindset towards others as well. And yeah, so I have always had that fear of what other people will think of me. And so I might have kind of pretended to be somebody else. So I'd see someone really successful and think, oh, well, if I just act like them, then I will have their success, and I will, you know, be just like them if I just pretend to be them. But your success comes from just being yourself. And it's only recently, probably within the last year, that I have kind of just fallen more into becoming myself and being comfortable with being myself. And I've found that doing that, you actually draw more people in, more friendships, more you know, people who are interested in what you have to say, because you are just so authentically you.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think two things you said there. One of them is about, like, it's so much about how you share. Like when people actually do judge you, because I've had, like in my previous business, it took me a long time to share with friends and family about it. I used to kind of do it on the side. And so as a result, when I did share, it was kind of like this wishy-washy, last minute, and they didn't get all the work that's gone behind it, my actual passion for it and so forth. And then people do judge you. So it's about like how you share. And in order to share whether it be your business or your art or your passion project, whatever you're going after, you need to have the inner alignment that you believe in it. So you share about it in a passionate place. You know, I mean, if Martin Luther King had gotten on the stairs and said, I kind of have a vision, people would have followed him like crazy. You follow people who are outwardly passionate and committed to whatever it is. That's what calls us. And exactly like you said, that whether you want to create a group of friends that resonate with the true you, or whether you want to create a community around a business or a cause for good, whatever it is, you have to be being authentically and passionately yourself in order to generate that. And I think it was really good, your point that when we're not in alignment with ourselves, that's when we get that shiny object kind of syndrome, where we want to try and be like somebody else, or somebody else is doing X, Y, and Z, well, then I'll do that. But it's not your unique purpose and your unique gifts and passions and so forth.
And I feel like it's just about following what feels good to you as well. So, you know, all those shiny objects and things that come up, I've been one of those people that just follows all those nice things that come along, and every opportunity I'll just say yes, 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 and then end up getting burnt out and stressed and overwhelmed. But when you're just being authentically you, and you're just like, oh, well, this is the stuff that I enjoy doing, this is the stuff I like doing, then that's the stuff that you're going to be best at doing anyway. And, you know, if, say, you've got all the plumbers in the world that are actually wanting to be electricians, and all the electricians are actually wanting to be plumbers, they're both going to be better off if they just switch jobs, because they're going to love going to work every day, whereas now they might be like, oh, I hate my job, I just wish I was an electrician. If they just swapped over and just were true to themselves, then, you know, the whole world would just work a lot more smoothly.
Totally. So I don't know if you want to start with a question that you got or a question that I got. Where do you go?
I can go. I'll have okay, so the first question I got was from Kat, and she said, I'm in between changing careers and I'm terrified of it. I would like to know the tools of how to deal with fear, as I'm scared that I might pick the wrong path in my life, and I don't really know how to make sure I'm choosing the right one. So that was Kat's question. So I can speak to that first in saying, I had a conversation with my brother because I went and visited him in Brisbane the last 4 days, Thursday to Sunday. And he is one of those people who just seems to have no fear and just like, you know, can just get out and do anything and always achieves great things. And okay, so he's probably getting a big head me saying all this. So I said to him that people were sending me through questions of the things that they were afraid of. And I said, they're all things that I've been scared of in my life. And and I was like, oh, well, you've just moved up to Brisbane within the last year or so. You were changing jobs. You moved to a new city. Like, oh, that must have been scary when you did that. And then he said that he didn't have any fear. And I was like, oh, well, you must have had, you know, just a little bit. But he said he didn't. And I asked him why. And he said, because I believe in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that, that kind of struck a chord with me, because it's like, if you have your own back and you trust in yourself and you just believe that you are capable of getting through anything, you just have that trust in yourself, then you can get through anything, and you don't have to be scared because you know that you will always be able to get through it. And just knowing that, you know, if you're in between jobs, maybe you lost your job and then you're feeling bad about that and you're feeling fearful that you know, weren't doing the right thing and, you know, you're hating on yourself or whatever. But just knowing that, you know, taking that setback as an opportunity for growth, and knowing that everything happens for a reason. So if you have had that, you know, change in job, whatever is going to come next will be exactly what needs to come next. So there's no need to fear.
Yeah. So just to be clear, Anna, has she got a job and she's thinking about changing careers, or she doesn't have a job? Just so I can answer as well.
I'm not sure. It just says I'm in between changing careers and I'm terrified of it. It looks like she's scared she might choose the wrong path in life. So I think she's in the process of choosing her next path.
Okay. So I suppose a couple of things that I would say is I think that successful people fail a lot of times. And I really think that the only true failure is when you let failing stop you. And so if you want to lead a wild, exciting, successful life, expect to fail tons and expect to fall flat on your face and be embarrassed and all that stuff. But it's part of the journey. Like, I love reading autobiographies of successful, inspiring people, and they always have had a million failures along the way. They've always taken a kind of odd path. I've taken loads of different paths, and sometimes I think I'm a bit random, that, you know, I do this work and that work and that work, and I like, you know, I work in human rights. I have my own business. I'm published a book, etc., etc. And so, but I don't think there's one right path. Maybe there's also not one right person for you. There's lots of different options. And so if we have this mindset of kind of perfectionism, of getting it right, that creates a lot of fear. So I would say that knowing that there's not one right path, and having the courage to just follow your heart, like be careful to not listen to what other people are telling you as far as what you should do, and just follow what inspires you, your bliss, like Anna said. And then if it's not right, well, you can change course. Pivoting is really a strategic decision a lot of the times, and that's great.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying before about just following what feels good for you.
Yes.
And in what you were saying then about the failures, there's that quote from Thomas Edison in the creation of the light bulb, And he says, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. So did you have a question from someone?
Yeah, so Mary asked me, she is like starting up a new business. She sent me an email, and she's hates sales and marketing, and she says it makes her afraid. So I can start and then you can go. And I think this is a really common one amongst entrepreneurs. I get it a lot amongst clients, and I see it in Facebook groups and so forth, because we again, it goes back to the fear of what people will think of us, because we worry that they'll think that we're pushy or salesy. And so what I always say to that is, come back to your why. I mean, with a lot of this kind of stuff, is why are you doing the thing that you're doing? In this case, a business. Like, what are you passionate about? And if you can root yourself enough in that inspiration and that vision and that passion, then all you're doing is just sharing that with people. You don't have to do it in at all a salesy way. You're just sharing your inspiration. So I think whenever you feel fear in terms of marketing and sales, because I know I've definitely had it, come back to your fear, your vision, and also come back to your value. Because usually when we're fearing that, we're afraid that, oh, who am I to charge this amount, or who am I to do that? So then come back to, I like to call it like inserting doubt in a fear or a negative belief. So if I believe that I'm not worth the money that I charge, well, then what I would do is insert doubt. So I like to keep, I wonder if I have one nearby. No, I don't. I keep diaries of, and I call them like success diaries, kind of dorky, but whatever. And and so in like an area there that I'm feeling fear, I will write down the like the opposite, evidence to the contrary. So if you were worried about your value for what you want to charge in your marketing, then you would write down all the ways, all the proof that you are actually worth the money that you charge, and you would update it on a really regular basis. And it's like that consistent kind of evidence to the contrary to your negative belief that will change your mindset over time. And it's really powerful. I've seen it completely change people's mindsets, including my own, lots of times.
Yeah, and I suppose it comes back to believing in yourself and what you're offering as well. So you'll feel a lot less fearful of selling a product and advertising and marketing and putting it all across social media if you think that it is something really great that you know will help people. And if you're even able to reach one person with your message, then you know that it's going to benefit that person. So it's worth all of that putting yourself out there that you've done. And the other thing that I would say about it is that so you could have someone who makes a mediocre product and somebody who makes like this awesome product. So the person who made a mediocre product might be really good at sales and marketing and just putting themselves out there. They will end up selling 100 times the product of the person who has an awesome product, way better than the other one, but doesn't really want to put themselves out there and say how great their product is.
Yeah, you have to toot your own horn. It's funny because I lived in America for quite a number of years, and it's so different, the culture there to here. Like there, you're really encouraged to toot your own horn, and it's seen as a good thing. Whereas in Australia, I don't know who watches. I have audience in both countries. But if Australians watching, then they know that here we definitely have that kind of culture of, oh, do not play yourself up. Not even just don't play yourself up. Don't even share too much about like what you're doing well.
Yeah.
I think it's changing.
Yeah, it's completely the opposite.
Still pretty ingrained.
Yeah, it's definitely like that in Australia. And I lived in America for a period of my life. And yeah, they're very much about like just shameless self-promotion, and it's awesome. I wish that I just was born with that mentality, but it's also something that you can learn. But, you know, the other thing to remember is that even if it's on social media and stuff, you know, hardly anyone is going to see your post anyway with the way the Facebook algorithms and things are going at the moment. So you may feel like you've shared about like this one thing 10 times, but really like not that many have seen the first one. They wouldn't have even seen it. They might only see your message the 7th time you say it. So, you know, just like keep going, keep pushing. Yeah. Okay. So I had another question in a similar kind of vein. Um, so this is the last question that I got sent through to me. It
Cool.
was, I'm scared to start up my own business. How do you push past the fear caused by the expectations of other people and just do what you feel is right for you at your core? I
Yeah.
really just want to help other women feel well.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
so the question, yeah, was just that, she's
Yeah.
scared to set up the business. How do you push past that fear?
Yeah.
What would you say?
So I would say again what I said before about get really clear on your why, and it sounds like you've already got it. You want to help women feel well. Okay, so that is brilliant. Now go deeper into that. What makes you believe that? What's been your own experience? And like then create a vision board, create affirmations, but get really clear on what are you excited about. Like imagine it, whether you be a visual person or however. I like writing personally. And write down what your ideal future is with this there. And so that you're so inspired, and then read it. I would read it on a daily basis. Just keep on coming back to what's my inspiration, and then also I'm running this challenge at the moment, Audaciously Me, which is all about like addressing our fear of others' judgment. And today what I am having them do is get clear on that vision and then share it in a succinct way, and then share it with loads of people every week. So you could set what was her name or his name?
They didn't say their name. They
Okay.
wanted to remain anonymous, I should say.
Okay, cool. So for whoever it is, what I would say is to write down like that vision, like what you're creating, this business, and your why. Like the why is the most important, and then practice sharing it over and over and over and over again until you get so confident in it that it feels just natural. And don't worry about what other people think, because what other people think comes down to two things only ever, and one of those is really about your judgments of yourself. So you need to look at those. They're just reflecting your own judgments of yourself. And the second one is their judgments of themselves. So if they're judging you, they're probably jealous. They probably would love to have the guts to start their own business as well. And you can't affect that. So the only thing that's worth really focusing on is your judgment of yourself, and releasing that and focusing back on your why and your passion.
Mm. And some other great tools. So you've kind of spoken about the writing things down. So journaling, and I have a post on my website about journaling as well, and a process that you can go through for that. And also meditation is great for kind of just sitting with any fears that you have, and you can kind of, I don't know, it just helps you release them. And you just end your meditation just feeling a lot calmer. And so they're great tools to kind of push past that fear. And a lot of it's to do with your mindset as well. I've found in business. So it's just viewing like your perspective, your worldview, the way that you view situations. One thing that's really helped me get through my mindset kind of blocks has been a course that both Kelly and I have gone through, which is Blog to Profit by Alice Nichols. And that's actually how Kelly and I met in the first place. But she goes through, Alice goes through both the methods to start up your own business, but she also focuses on the mindset and the things that might be holding you back. And she really helps you push past those fears. Like if you're scared to create a YouTube video, or if you're scared to do a webinar, or if you're scared to put up your first blog post, then do it once, then do it twice, and do it 10 times. And by the time you've done it 10 times, you won't be scared of it anymore. Yeah, so that's just one of the mindset things.
Yeah, I think that point's really important, is you have to couple like the mindset work with taking direct action that challenges you. I mean, I always suggest working either with a buddy or a coach or in a community, because it's very hard if you're scared of it. Sometimes, you know, you'll procrastinate and put it off. So it's good to get support, however that looks for you. And then, like Anna said, it's about the first time you do it, it will be scary as hell. I remember the first time I made a video, I was like, oh God, I hate this. And then by the 10th time you do it, it's totally natural. Same with public speaking. The first time I did it, I hated it. Now it's fine. So whatever you're scared of, just force yourself to do it once, and then celebrate the hell out of yourself. Go have a glass of wine or a coffee or whatever rocks your boat. And then just keep on doing it and doing it and doing it. I think the celebration part is actually really important, because as busy women, we forget that part. We're like, okay, tick, done that. But unless you have the experience of, wow, I just did something that was really scary to me and I actually did it, then it doesn't really sink in. So you've got to do the celebration part as well.
Yeah, I remember doing my first talk at a conference, and I was so scared of it. I think I was nervous for it the entire week leading up. You know how like it stops you from sleeping, and you're just so anxious about it. And then the night before was probably the worst. Did not get much sleep. But I was just like talking it all up in my head how hard it was going to be and whatever. But it's just about being prepared firstly, and as long as you know your stuff, then you're not really going to screw up that badly. But yeah, I actually went up there, had the best time when I was up there. Like, I think it was like an hour talk, and you know, it was just awesome. And then after it, I just had like such a buzz, so much energy. I came home and I just wanted to, like, I don't know, have a raving party with like hundreds of people. Like, that's how much energy I had. But I ended up just like running around the house, and I don't know what, like just turning up the music really loud and just but it was just like,
it's such a high, isn't it? When you really challenge yourself.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, when you're just that scared of something, when you have that much fear, and then when you do it, you're just like, oh my God, I'm the most powerful person in the world.
Yes, exactly. I remember I was working, when I started to work in Washington, I was the director of a human rights organization over there, but you know, I'm Australian. And the first time I had to like testify in Congress, and it was like the movies.
Wow.
I literally did not eat. It was in the afternoon that whole entire day, which I know you study health.
I didn't eat that day. I couldn't.
I was so freaking nervous. It was unbelievable. But as soon as I started speaking, it was like boom, it had all gone, and I was cool. And same thing, like I was buzzing for like days afterwards. And so if we can put ourselves, I mean, they're extreme stress, but if we can put ourselves in that bit of, there's really healthy stress. Stress is how you expand your possibilities and yourself as a human being. So it's really important to put yourself in those healthy stress situations on a regular basis and feel that high. It's better than, I don't know, whatever else you do to get it.
And in what you were saying there about putting yourself in those stressful situations, I find that fear can really guide you in what to do next. So if there's something you're like a little bit scared of, then like if it's like putting up a video or doing a webinar or whatever, then that's the next thing you could do if you're a little bit scared of doing that. Because when you feel that fear, you can imagine it as you growing. So it's like growing pains. Getting that fear is like, and it's just you expanding your comfort zone so that you kind of up level yourself and you become the next best version of yourself. So just pushing yourself into those situations is a really good idea.
Yeah, totally agree. And so the other question I got from Candice, she's a busy mum, and she said, okay, cool, I want to do more mindset, but I have, but like, how the hell do you fit it in? Can you give me some quick practical things? What do you do? Okay. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
So what was the first part of that question? Sorry.
So basically she's saying she's busy as a mum with a business similar to me, and she's just kind of like, okay, well, it all sounds great, but how the hell do I fit this in? So I can start if you want. So I think I like the idea of throwing everything at it and then just finding what works for you, because there's so many tools, and I also don't think So you just have to play around and see what works for you. I can tell you what works for me, and I can tell you what works for her, and then you can play and see what you find the most, you get the most traction from. I think writing out your goals like every week is really great. And then when you're writing them out, see where you feel like, oh, there's no way, like you feel resistance. And then where you feel the resistance just that week, because it'll change every week, then work on that. Like there's, I know you've written about it, I did as well. There's tapping, EFT. There's, like I said, I keep a journal of like a success journal that inserts doubt on those negative beliefs. And that's really, like, that's super time effective. You can just write 1 or 2 things every day, and that will take you no time. Then there's the deeper work of going in and finding out what is holding you back. And that's a journaling exercise, like when you have your kids in kindy or whatever, of taking half an hour and having a coffee and like getting to the bottom of what is the fear. I think affirmations, I do affirmations when I'm walking, like when I'm doing exercise. You can get custom made visualizations that you can listen to as you go to sleep. There's a couple, but it's something you can fit in during your day. And like all habits, you can link it to something else. Like when I'm cooking, I'm going to be saying this in my mind, or as I sit down at the end of the day to watch the TV, I'm just going to write down 2 things that I'm proud of that day that go against my fears, or something like that. So linking it to other things that you already do and making it as simple as possible.
Yeah. And I think all of those things that you've mentioned there are things that I do. So the tapping, the affirmations, meditation, in regards to not having much time for these things, like meditation, you can just sit there for like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you have is perfect. Yeah. Because you're just exercising that muscle, because meditation is like a muscle. So if you can, and it's about the consistency of exercising that muscle. So you can't just go to the gym for like 5 hours on one day, 1 day a month, and be like, yeah, I'm super fit. Like it's something that you consistently have to do. And like, that's the same thing with working through your fears. You have to be consistently working on them, and then they will eventually disappear. But yeah. But what was I going to say? In regards to meditation, on my website, I have mindset meditations that you can purchase, and those only go for 5 to 7 minutes each, and they focus on one part of your mindset that you're trying to improve. So it might be that you're trying to wake up and just feel really energetic in the morning. Then it's something that you could listen to for 5 minutes in the morning. There's another one that helps you to just have like a ease and graceful kind of ease. Go through your day with grace and ease, a lot more easily than that sentence was said. And just for motivation for exercise, and any part of your lifestyle that you're trying to improve, I probably have a meditation for it, because I create a new one each week. And those meditations are only $5-6 a month. So that's like $1 a week or something. So it's super manageable in regards to cost and time efficiency. So that's why I made them in the first place, just to make them so accessible for, busy working mums, or, people who just don't have the time to sit there and zen out for 40 minutes a day.
Yeah. Totally. Awesome. And that was what I was going to say to close, is to talk about where they can find you, and then where they can find me. So, so what you've just shared, and that's at Anna Johnson Hill, which is
that's at AnnaJohnsonHill.com.
Awesome. Sounds great. And so for me, if you go to Audacify, AUDACIFY, so there'll be a link to it with this, audacify.com, not Audacity, audacify.com, and I have loads of free resources there. One's called the Audacious Goal Challenge. It will help you take that long, overwhelming list of goals, get rid of all the should goals, all the non-inspiring goals, and chunk it down to what are a handful of like truly inspiring goals that will take you out of your comfort zone and then help you map out exactly how to achieve them. I also have a short book on how to overcome procrastination, which I find is a big one. And also Audaciously Me Challenge, which will be ongoing to help you get past the fear of judgment of what others think of you. So Audacify.com.
And yeah, in regards to my meditations, I'll put a link for those and to what Kelly's spoken about underneath this video. So if you refresh it after we finish, it should all be showing up there.
Great.
And then in regards to what I was saying about Blog to Profit, Alice's course that Kelly and I have both done, that's actually opening up for enrollments 1st of July, I believe, start of July. And so you'll actually be able to join that course and join both Kelly and I in there. There's a big community and everything. And I'm running a special offer within the next week. I'll be speaking to Alice on Thursday. I'll be interviewing her, and then along with that interview, I'll release a lot of special offers, such as getting access to my new ebook that's coming out in a few weeks. Plus, you'll get access to all of my meditations by purchasing Alice's course through me. So you get a few extra bonuses in there. So check back on the website tomorrow, I guess. Is tomorrow Thursday? Yeah, no, yes, it is. So come back Thursday and Thursday evening, and I should have a whole lot of resources and things for you there if you want to come and join the Blog to Profit community with me and Kelly.
Great. Awesome. Well, awesome to speak to you and to everybody else.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. I'll just double check that no questions came through while we were speaking, because we wouldn't want to miss anyone's. If there are any questions, no, I can't see any there. Oh, maybe there's one, 2 comments. Show 1 new comment. Okay, we do have a question from Amanda. So I get confused when it comes to my vision, why, why, or her purpose, differentiating between personal whys, like to live how I want and pay off debts, versus my professional why. So
I think it's
the difference
really
between personal and professional.
I think it's really important to have both, because both will motivate you in a different way. And like, while you might not put your professional why on your website, if it's about a business, to have that very strong in yourself. Like, I have a very clear vision of the difference I want to make in the world, but then also of the lifestyle that I want to lead, which the business will create. And both of those I want to be repeating on a at least weekly basis. So I'm really grounded in both. So yeah, I would say having a very strong, what's the lifestyle, like the what do you want for yourself personally, and then what do you want for the world?
And that's the same for me, in that I do have a personal why, in that, you know, I want to live a life just being able to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it, and just having that kind of freedom to travel the world. But then I also have my professional why, in that, you know, I want to be making a massive difference in the world while I do that, and I want to be affecting people's lives, and I want to, in a positive way, and I want to be making my mark on the world, and creating this positive change for social good. But I would obviously talk about the fact that I want to make those positive changes to the world on my website, because that's really going to draw people in. And people tend to buy your why and your story more than they'll buy, you know, your products. So
Yeah, totally.
I could say that I have an e-course that helps you get well, or I could talk about my own story around getting well and how doing all these things has really helped me. And the reason why I want to help you is because, you know, all these amazing things have happened in my life, and I really want to pass those things on. And so people can connect with that a lot more easily than they can connect with, I just want you to feel well.
Yeah. So the why.
Yeah. So it's really, really important to, share your why. But, I might not say I'm sharing this e-course with you because I really want to live remotely. So, so I still have that why, and that's such a motivator for me. But it's not necessarily the one that I share publicly. So I suppose that's the difference between the personal and professional why.
Yeah, totally. And I think that a fear for a lot of us is, and I know that I've had this, is a fear that we won't reach our full potential. And so getting really clear on what does your full potential, and that changes constantly, but right now, what does that look like in your mind? And that's that's part of your why as well, that drives you. Just a little extra there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all the questions that we have through. And if anybody else has any others, they can leave them in the comments and we will check the comments and get back to anybody else. But yeah, thanks so much for everyone who has shown up today. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties that we had at the beginning. But yeah, I'll put all the links to things that we've spoken about and different tools and everything underneath the video. So if you don't want to have to rewatch the entire thing to find out the information, you'll be able to view it very easily.
Cool. Sounds good.
So thanks so much for talking to me today, Kelly. It was great connecting with you.
You too. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day.